We have all been watching the incredible events in Israel with trepidation and disgust, realizing that even with this most extreme, racist, fascist, and vile and fundamentalist government in power, most Israelis remain wedded to the brutal apartheid regime, to Zionist settler-colonialism, and to the militarized occupation. The wide-ranging demonstrations are now heading for their 40th week and are against everything this government is doing, apart from the one important existential issue, the colonial occupation and subjugation of Palestine and its people. This, the demonstrators, or at least most of them, refuse to understand, refuse to oppose, refuse to admit and take responsibility for. Nonetheless, we must understand the real revolutionary potential of these extraordinary events. This rift within Israeli Jewish society is terminal. This inner conflict is the most serious existential discord within Zionism since its inception. I believe that it harbors the seeds of self-destruction of the Israeli mini-empire and its stranglehold on Palestine, as well as its toxic influence on regional and global politics. It is important to state what for us has always been obvious. There is no two-state solution, and there has never been one. Israel made sure of that many decades ago. Indeed, Israel itself seems to be headed for a two-state solution, the state of Judea, Samaria, and Jerusalem, and the state of Tel Aviv and the rest. So, there is no time for silly discussions about federations and confederations. These are not confederations, but contracts like the Oslo Accords, which brought us to where we are stuck now. If we do not act now, Palestinians and those Israelis who support them, what will ensue is a single apartheid state in the whole of Palestine, racist, militarized, fundamentalist, fascist, and committed to the expulsion of all Palestinians from their homeland. There is currently no international danger limitation mechanism for stopping such an atrocity from becoming a reality. The results will be catastrophic beyond description to both Israeli Jews and Palestinian Arabs, as they will make a peaceful resolution all but impossible for many generations. The situation in the whole of Palestine is out of control. There is not a single day when totally innocent Palestinians are not murdered in cold blood, in broad daylight. Land is stolen, confiscated, clear by pogroms, with whole communities hounded by Jewish terror squads, backed by the state violent machinery of militarized Zionism. The Israeli regime is preparing itself for the end game. They believe they must rush through the clearing of Palestine while Western political leaders undemocratically support this iniquity without compunction or doubt whatsoever. This is a testing, traumatic time. And the time to come will be even more traumatic for all of us, but especially for the Palestinians. Zionism is projecting its might of the last century of settler colonialism onto the near future, preparing for total ethnic cleansing. In many ways, this is an incendiary move. They are also building on violent Palestinian opposition for justifying their brutal plans for Nakba II, both to their own Jewish citizens, but also to the rest of the world. This is not the time for sitting on fences or for political obfuscation confusion, or denial. We must all support the only peaceful, democratic, and just solution for the Zionist settler-colonial project before it sets the Middle East on fire, destroying any chance of coexistence. To do that, we must support the Palestinian call for a single democratic secular state for all its citizens in the whole of Palestine, where all will be equal and treated equally by the state which they will build together on the ruins of the aggressive colonial project of Zionism. This just solution has been proposed in 1947 by the Arab states and by most third world countries, but derided and annulled by the dominant powers in favor of partition, the solution preferred by Zionism. This was also the political program of the PLO before the disgrace of 1988, when it caved in to the US and Israeli pressure and abandoned its principles and peaceful political offering. This is now campaigned for by the Palestinians and those Israelis supporting them in the ODSC organization, forming the only political solution on the table and the only one offering equality, justice, peace, prosperity, and support for protecting an undivided environmental continuity of Mandate Palestine. With our commitment to these principles, we can assist the ending of apartheid, the liberation of both Palestinians and Israelis from Zionist conflictual aggression, and the return of the refugees to their homeland, and the building of the first real democracy in the Middle East. We in Jewish Network for Palestine believe in the haloed and historically established principles of convivencia, the coexistence of people of all faith and none, in peace, equality, and justice in the region which gave the world its three monotheistic religions, all speaking of peace, but involved in numerous wars. We strongly believe that the iconic space Palestine occupies in world history could make such a peaceful resolution of the festering colonial conflict, one which may affect other conflicts in the same way that the peaceful, if imperfect, resolution of the conflicts in South Africa and Northern Ireland radiated onto the Palestine current quagmire. We must play our role in advancing this peaceful and just solution in the UK, Europe, and beyond, to gather international forces which together may back and assist it coming into being. Solidarity with Palestine and with Israelis supporting it